Hi and welcome back. Module 8 and video 14 on precipitation reactions. We've got the end in sight and we're nearly there, and this is the last part of module 2 that we're going to cover, as we've already covered the earlier bits. And what we're looking at today is precipitation titration. So you'll remember with our gravimetric analysis, it said conduct investigations and or process data involving precipitation titrations. And here we've got a bit of a setup where you can see, similar to what we studied in module 6, we have got our burette set up with our conical flask, and now we're using our knowledge of precipitation rather than acid-base reactions and a neutralization. Instead of the neutralization being our endpoint, it is our formation of the precipitate that is our endpoint. So we have got a couple of different ways of doing these, and it hasn't been specified in our syllabus which ones we're going to need to do. There's two types of precipitation reactions. Precipitations that will involve a color change using an indicator there to determine when the precipitate has formed, and also conductivity titrations. So you'll remember when we've looked at conductivity graphs before, when there is when we were doing acid bases, we saw that V-shaped graph where as we were adding more of our acid or our base, the conductivity decreased and increased again, and at that point that center of the V was where our endpoint was. Similar determinations can be made with the conductivity with our precipitation reactions. So with precipitation with color change, which is I think what we're going to focus more on, is that the amount of adding of the chemical that's added will be equal to the substance being precipitated, and our endpoint is usually determined, as I said before, as a change in color as that complex is formed. Now, rather than go into a lot more detail, I'm going to get you to watch the Ed Rollo video with Scott Hazelton that covers this quite well and does a couple of examples. So if you can click on the link that we have or type it into your address with Ed Rollo, go to that class, do that lesson, have a go at doing the questions that are there as well, and we'll practice a few more of these in class. See you then.